Hey, what is up all of you Buster Blader fans? Now that we've got some more support announced for it, a lot of people are pretty stoked to try it out, but I got some sweet replays to share with you guys, and also the deck profile for some of you guys that are interested in perhaps trying it out right now, even though there's going to be more support coming out for this archetype. Nonetheless, he's playing against a Red Eyes deck. I know it does technically favor Buster Blader, but you guys got to keep in mind that new Dragon Felgrand structure deck is going to be coming out relatively soon. And once that comes out, if it's really meta, maybe Buster Blader could be a good anti-meta call against that specific deck, because you can actually completely wreck us your opponent, because yeah, you play dragons, you're going to get wrecked, you're going to have a bad time. But nonetheless, he goes ahead and busts out the Buster Dragon over here, then he goes ahead and busts out the Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer, and he hits him in one hit for 12,000. I mean, it was pretty much unnecessary, but you know, the fact that you can do that, it does make it pretty dang awesome. But yeah, there's another OTK that we'll share with you guys, and then we'll go ahead and go over the deck profile. I don't think this deck's going to be super meta, but like I said, again, if for whatever reason dragons become meta once again in the game, Buster Blader might be able to keep the game in check. And it's kind of funny because that's what it was designed to do. Buster Blader was the guy that destroyed the dragons. You know, pretty good stuff indeed over here. So he goes ahead and busts out the Buster Dragon. He activates Breakthrough Skill, unfortunately. Not today, man. But anyways, I mean, the card is a pretty good card that comes out. I mean, that new trap card, it's absolutely crazy. A lot of people are going crazy over it. The Destruction Sword Reminiscence. So you discard a Destruction Sword card to special summon a Buster Blader from your deck. You can banish from your graveyard, then you can fusion summon a Buster Dragon Destroyer Swordsman from your extra deck by banishing the materials in your graveyard, which is relatively easy, of course, if you are playing this card, because it requires Buster Blader and a Dragon type monster. It's really not that difficult to pull off. But nonetheless, he goes ahead and busts it out again. And then Compulse, man. Who played Compulse in 2016? Thought we all moved on to the Solemn Strikes. But nonetheless, you know, it's Battery, man. Probably a guy that's maybe running a budget-ish deck. Nonetheless, it doesn't really matter, because the whole point of this is to show you guys like how you can technically use some of the newer stuff. Specifically, that new trap card, I think, makes the deck so much better. But unfortunately, he just negates everything, and he's just going to go ahead and re-equip stuff for free. 7,800 attack, pretty much one-shotting most people. And you guys saw that last duel where he was like 12,000 to the face. So Buster Blader looking like it's going to be an okay, fun deck. Again, I don't know if it's going to be super meta, but I know a lot of you guys really, really want to see this deck, the deck profile and stuff like that. So maybe some of you guys can try it. This is the one, thanks for the replay, it's meta, or only meta. For sending in the replay. Dang, I forget your name. It was Meta Only, that's what it was. Meta Only for sending in the awesome replays. But nonetheless, this is his build. I thought it was maybe something you guys can try out. I personally, you guys know how I play. I really like Max C's right now, and like things like Upstart to make your deck much more consistent. But nonetheless, maybe it's a fun little friendly budget deck. I know Pinpoint Guard is, I think, got reprinted, you know, recently. The only, I guess, maybe expensive card is this card, but for the most part, the deck looks like it's going to be relatively cheap, minus maybe some of the cards in the extra deck. But as you guys saw, he really only busted out these two cards. But anyways, let's go and jump into the deck profile. If you guys have any suggestions to make this deck better, I would love to hear them in the comment section below, because I'm interested in actually trying out this deck as well. Maybe down the line once we get like the other support, because this was one of the cards that was announced, and I know that's really good. But obviously, in the future, if they announce like, you know, some other cards, this deck might be actually kind of good, again, because the Felgrand structure deck is set to release later on after the DeeDee structure deck. But anyways, let's get started with the deck profile. So we got 3 Flambeau Guards, we've got 2 copies of Buster Blader, the Destruction Swordmaster, 3 Buster Bladers, 1 of the Robot Buster Destruction Sword, 1 copy of Wizard Buster Destruction Sword, 3 copies of Buster Whelp of the Destruction Swordsman, 3 copies of Dragon Buster Destruction Swordsman, 1 Gloat Bulb, 3 cards of Consonance, 3 Where Art Thou, 3 Hidden Armory, 1 Soul Charge, 3 Drag Connection. Then we have 2 copies of the Destruction Swordsman Fusion, 2 Twin Twister, 1 Megamorph for that Saki play over there. I think it's kind of funny that people were using this. I remember back in the, I don't know if you guys played like, you know, like old school Yu-Gi-Oh, but there was a Cyberstein into Blue Eyes Ultimate Megamorph attack for 9,000. That was like the old school, oh my gosh, I pulled it off play. Next up we have 3 copies of Pinpoint Guard. That can just like get your monster, like, specifically like this card, I believe it is. Getting this card to like survive, like you just like you defense up with like the Pinpoint Guard, and then you're like, you know what, I'm gonna bust out a Buster Blood next turn, and then everything like becomes dragons. where it's all monsters your opponent cult become dragons, and then obviously you can summon Buster Blader. Then you guys can go ahead and make this bad boy over here. But lastly, we have 2 copies of the Destruction Sword Reminiscence, which we kind of went over its effect. I think this card makes the deck so much better. There's also another card, I forgot what the exact name was, but like, oh dang, I don't know what it was called. I don't know if it's called Buster Blade or something, but I remember seeing it, and it was like, as long as you control, like, I think it's like you control like Buster Blader's fusion or something like that, you like bash all of your opponent's monsters, and I was like, what? What is this power creep card? It's crazy. But nonetheless, I think it's an okay fun deck. Again, I don't know if this is going to be meta. I'd like to know you guys' thoughts in the comment section below. Do you guys think this is going to be potentially meta? Again, we have more support coming out for them, so I don't know. And again, because Felgrand is looking really strong, we might have to see some Buster Blader to combat those dragons. It'd be pretty sweet. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you guys give that like button a titty slap. This has been your boy Smith. Signing out.